Morgan. I found this really interesting dress at a thrift store, and I decided to go ahead and try and put that on a mannequin. And this is quite a small, like a mannequin that has measurements that are quite a bit smaller than my own, and I was having trouble getting this on like over the shoulders of the larger size mannequin that we have in the house. And so I'm just gonna go out here and say that this dress was originally probably for someone who has relatively like small measurements. And I can't quite tell if this is like a costume piece or what, because it has shoulder pads that are literally pinned into the shoulders with safety pins, and up the back it has it has a snap style closure up here, which is like the back left hand side of the back, so not the center back. So it's a really odd choice to me. And yeah, the mannequin that I have this displayed on like juts out down here, so this doesn't show like the authentic shape of the skirt, but I thought this would give an idea of like how the top part looks. And also one thing that I thought was really odd about the sleeves are they don't like the parts of the cuff here, like they don't line up correctly, and they close with snaps at the bottom, which I thought was interesting. Like, oh, and the machine stitching on this is done with one of those, I think the word for it is like a chain stitch instead of, if I remember correctly, the normal like default type of sewing machine stitch that's more standard nowadays is a lock stitch. So I thought that was really that made me question like more about like I want to know who sewed this garment, because it's just, and like there are parts that are like, okay, this looks like this came undone, and I'm curious, like, was this for like a costume? Was this like, is this like some sort of something that's like an older piece that was upcycled or something? Because this has elements to it, especially considering that it's like, I didn't find any like manufacturer's tags in it. There is, I think the thrift store tag is still attached, but I didn't see like a manufacturer's tag, so that suggests to me that this probably was done by someone, like not a mass manufactured thing, but rather by like either like a home seamstress or someone who did this piece but not a bunch of other pieces like it, like maybe it was for a costume or something. And the silhouette of it is very, like, it makes me think distinctively of like the late 1910s because of the details here, like that's like that type of like interesting like detail, like the drop waist down here, and like the fact that it's in like 3 sections, like that's a very, like that's a detail that makes me think like, I don't know, it makes me think like 1910s, early 20s in terms of like some of the front details, but that doesn't mean that those are only extent to that era. It just means that I think of those as being fashionable in that time. Yeah, and this belt loop thing right here, like the underside here, it's held on with a safety pin. So I'm wondering like if this was something that was added at a later date, or if this was something where it was like a home seamstress or a costumer trying, like rushing to get something done, and like, or it was like maybe this was worn as a costume piece by multiple people or something, and they had to make minor adjustments to different wearers. Like that would be one theory or idea out there that I would put. And the length is also like I'm curious about the length because it does. Because I assume this was probably made for someone who is a bit on the smaller side, because the shoulders are, it's very difficult to get it over anything but very narrow shoulders. That suggests to me that this was probably made for someone with like maybe a small bone structure. So I'm curious like what length this would have initially like landed on the person it was like who wore it originally. So yeah, I wanted to talk about this really interesting like dress that I found at the thrift store today, and I got it mostly to like, I guess like look at it, like pick it apart, dissect it, for like knowledge, and to improve my sewing skills, and because I'm curious about like how this was patterned, and it's way, like this is way too small to like, I don't think I could actually get this over my shoulders. So yeah, I thought this was really cool, and I wanted to showcase this. So yeah, I hope that you have a great day. Bye!